We are in the middle of an AI race between Microsoft and Google, and as of last week, I think for the very first time, that Google might actually win.
OpenAI just launched their latest update, GPT4o, and it sounds out of this world.
Hello there, cutie. What's your name, little fluffball?
AI has moved into a new era, from chatbots to something out of the movie Her.
Good morning, Theodore.
Good morning.
Our vision for the Gemini app is to be the most helpful personal AI assistant by giving you direct access to Google's latest AI models.
Announced a new AI video generation tool, a new AI image generation tool.
That is the longest context window of any chatbot in the world.
Today, we are releasing our newest flagship model. This is GPT4o.
Can you take a guess at what that might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup.
GPT4o reasons across voice, text, and vision. And with these incredible efficiencies, it also allows us to bring the GPT-4 class intelligence to our free users.
Today, we're going to do a quick update about what happened in AI last week and what we should be thinking about when it comes to this AI war for dominance. Let's dive in. Hey, future me here. Just coming in to tell you that this video is 3 weeks late and I apologize profusely. For the record, I wrote it and filmed it in record time, and then the editing just never happened. I went to a few conferences, I went to a college reunion, I had a lot of things going on. I even recorded an entirely new episode that is going to be coming out soon, but I wanted to publish this video anyways, despite its extreme tardiness, because I think a lot of the big picture themes are still incredibly relevant. Now, did I not make enough jokes about Google Gemini and pizza glue or the Golden Gate Bridge or any of that? No, but that's because that literally hadn't happened yet. I filmed this video so fast, you guys, none of that had even happened yet. So we acknowledge that Google Gemini's performance has been subpar, especially in the search category. But if we're thinking big picture, I think this video still holds merit and I think that it's still relevant. So please feel free to continue watching. You'll notice a lot of the information is out of date, but again, the information in this video, not as important. It's big picture thinking. What are the ideas that are driving the AI space forward? And what is the future going to look like? So I hope you enjoy. Last week had a lot of really big news. OpenAI released GPT4o in its very first live session. GPT4o is apparently much faster and has new capabilities, including basically you can text or video with ChatGPT. Did I mention that 4o is now free? Yeah, essentially 4o can now chat with you. It's a great time and she's got a nice sultry voice.
Me? The announcement is about me? Well, color me intrigued.
And she can't sing very good.
And so Byte found another robot friend.
Thank goodness. Speaking of sultry voices, Sam Altman probably shouldn't have released this tweet when it comes to dealing with Marvel's baddest superhero. Oops, if she's taking on Disney, why wouldn't she take on OpenAI? Then on Thursday, OpenAI announced that they signed a deal with Reddit. Not the biggest news, but it happened. They signed a deal with Reddit. Hooray, they didn't just steal content off the internet. Reddit, the best source for data, right? And that same day, Sony sent letters to OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google asking, hey, is there any chance that you used any Sony-owned music to train your models? Because if so, we'd also like to be paid. And on top of all that, OpenAI co-founder and head of AI safety, Ilya Sutskever, announced that he is leaving the biggest startup in the world, OpenAI. This isn't surprising since he is the whistleblower who got Sam Altman fired, and he likely hasn't been working there for quite some time. He's probably just been stuck in legal shenanigans for months. Can be really messy. But now that that's all wrapped up, it appears that he is working on his own project and is ready for whatever opportunities are moving forward. However, in addition to Ilya leaving, almost the rest of the leadership of the AI safety team at OpenAI left, including Jan Leike, who had some pretty spicy things to say on Twitter about how he doesn't think OpenAI is taking AGI safety seriously enough. That was exciting. Meanwhile, Google's DeepMind released updates to Gemini the day after OpenAI's big live announcement at Google's I/O developer conference. And it was definitely anything you can do, I can do better kind of a situation. And Gemini released several tools that looked remarkably just like OpenAI's GPT4o's tools. Voice commands, video inputs, etc., but really what made Gemini stand out in comparison to ChatGPT4o is how well Gemini is really integrated into Google's infrastructure of tools. Want to make your Gmail summarize an email thread for you so you don't have to read all of them in order to get caught up on your work when you're falling behind? Do you want Google to build an itinerary for you based off of your calendar and also all of the things that it knows that you like because it has all of their data on you that it's collected for decades, etc. However, the biggest news that Google showed, which isn't too surprising, but the biggest news that Google showed is how it integrated Gemini into search onto the main page of Google and just how much real estate Gemini is taking on many search pages right now. Now, when you Google something, Gemini will give you a summary at the very top of the page, taking up kind of the most of the page in some cases about what it is you're Googling so that theoretically you don't have to click on any of the links. Now, Google is citing where it's getting all of its information, and to be honest, this isn't too much of a huge change. They've had those little boxes with summaries on Google for a few years now, but it is much more prominent and it is branded as Google Gemini. But overall, this has enormous consequences if you think about how Google functions as a business and how people use the internet. And it showed us one thing for certain, which is that Google is catching up fast. Is Gemini better than OpenAI at this point? Probably not, but this is the biggest show of force that I personally have seen Google make in a long, long time. So here's what I think. Other than on my YouTube channel, of course, interest in AI is starting to slow down and OpenAI is starting to see plateau in consumer growth. So they have been looking for more ways to jumpstart attention so that they can continue being the #1 dominating startup in the world. So what did they do? They released GPT4o, which is substantially better than GPT4, but not nearly as good as GPT-5 is supposed to be. However, the new voice and image tools do feel like magic, and by making 4o free for the public, they are able to get way more users or have more people try out higher tech tools rather than still using GPT 3.5. But at the end of the day, OpenAI knows that it is in their best interest to keep as many people focused on them, and making a brand new free tool that looks like magic, free for everybody, does just that. Now, when it comes to the safety team's departures, some of this might be a little overhyped, but at the same time, it really doesn't feel like OpenAI has a safety strategy anymore. So the real question is, how quickly is OpenAI going to hire a new security team, or will they? Because right now it looks like there isn't a plan or leadership in safety for AI at all, which is a bad look for AI. OpenAI is downplaying this whole situation, but Jan Leike claims that there is something rotten in the state of Denmark. And as I see it, with Google trying to build as fast as they can and with OpenAI throwing safety out the window, it is now up to Anthropic and Amazon to build AI safely, which is a crazy thing to say because it's Amazon. But yeah, meanwhile, Google and OpenAI have essentially created what we wanted Siri and Alexa to be for the last decade. So that's exciting. Are Apple and Amazon going to be able to catch up and create their own tools for their systems? Or are they just going to buy in and get some of these companies to build better Siris and Alexas for them? Who knows? However, going back to the point of this video, although OpenAI is definitely winning the attention game, I do think that Google may actually be winning the long game here. Why? Well, first they added citations, which now makes Perplexity AI no longer relevant, so now I don't have to make that video anymore, I guess. Whoops! And second, the way that Google is building Gemini into its entire infrastructure is something that I think could help them take over the entire internet dramatically faster than OpenAI or Microsoft could ever dream of doing. Google and YouTube are the #1 and #2 most viewed websites of all time by a long shot. It's not even close unless you count all of Facebook. Sorry, Meta. Are you excited for when Facebook decides to change its name from Meta to Artificial? I think that's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great day. Google is now, instead of directing people to every website in the world, is now taking all of the attention for themselves and directing everybody to Google instead. Whether it's an article from the New York Times or someone Googling what's the best AI platform, even trying to Google up what are the best coffee shops in your local neighborhood, Google is now going to be able to answer the questions themselves without you actually necessarily going to the publishers who made the content. We don't need to go anywhere else or use any other tool. Why would you when you have Google and you could just stay on Google? And there is still plenty of reason to feel skeptical about this. Google has been remarkably bad at inventing new tools within the last several years. And what's crazy is without Google, we wouldn't be experiencing this AI revolution to begin with. But they didn't take advantage of that in the first place because they didn't want to break their company's business model. However, what Gemini is doing is not necessarily building new tools to spin off, right? Like, it's not new tools, it's just adding steroids to all of the tools that already exist. Email, search, Google Drive, all of them are really well integrated with Gemini. Plus, being one of the biggest companies in the world with endless supplies of money and being the tool that people explore the internet with is a massive advantage that OpenAI and even Microsoft will have a hard time competing with. For a long time, Google Gemini was just kind of regarded as a joke since the tech really wasn't up to snuff. And yes, I am here to confirm that Google Gemini's technical abilities are still subpar. It may be able to pull off all the same party tricks as OpenAI, but when it comes to actual source data, yeah, are we sure that we actually want to use Reddit, you guys? And while the tech may still not quite be up to snuff, we now see what Google Gemini's vision is. And that vision, to me, looks a lot more threatening at the moment than OpenAI. And is there any way to stop them? Maybe. I see two paths. First is Lina Khan and the FTC. The FTC is already suing OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google, so this isn't too far-fetched of an idea, but Google's situation with how they are approaching Gemini and AI in general does create possibly the largest techie monopoly ever, and it's going to be really hard for Google to fight this. Granted, Google has more money than literally anybody else, and the FTC does not have a lot of cash, so it's unclear how big of an impact the FTC could have, but I would say if Biden remains in office and the FTC does find Google or Microsoft to be guilty in these crimes, that there could be some big shakeups. And Google is getting to the point where one kind of has to wonder, is this a big enough monopoly where Google needs to be broken into multiple companies? Granted, as my former startup co-founder Mike Pelletier likes to say, this is America. We like to pretend to hate monopolies here. He does not sound like that at all. And secondly, if the FTC can't figure this out, that basically leaves Amazon as creating a safe AI model, or coming in and doubling down on a dramatic amount of money to play catch up to both of these giants. They seem to be the only big tech company who's very serious about security and safety. And if Amazon could double in on Anthropic, and if Anthropic could scoop up Ilya and the other OpenAI former safety and security people, that could be a way to sneak past some of these people. That said, never underestimate Ilya. I'm sure that whenever he announces whatever he is announcing, the money is gonna come pouring in. But yeah, basically, you never know, guys. OpenAI could be the next Netscape, so woo! Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you didn't mind this looser video structure. I am going to be in a bit of a hurry this week, and I wanted to try to make something a little bit faster, a little bit shorter, and just frankly easier for me to produce rather than conducting like 20 to 40 hours of research before filming. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments down below. Tell me if you loved it, tell me if you hated it, tell me if you did not notice or if this is your first time here. Hello, welcome. My name is Carolyn. I've spent the last 7 years working in startups, venture capital, and tech, and now I make YouTube videos like this one. So great. Also, if you're a new subscriber from last week, hi! Welcome, everybody. Thank you for helping make last week's video my fastest, most watched video ever. That was super exciting. We hit 2.3 thousand views, which is really big, and we finally hit 500 subscribers. So, hi, that's amazing. We're still a tiny YouTube channel. We don't necessarily know what's going on here, and I'm remarkably inconsistent, but sometimes I'm fun. So, yeah, thank you for coming. And if you like this video, like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you next time. When is that? Probably next week. What will it be? No idea. We'll find out. Bye.
No wrong way to prompt. Yeah, you're doing it. There's no wrong way to prompt. Just whatever you just prompt your prompt in a prompt bar.
Or just generate an image of a cat playing guitar.